Hi, I'm Barbara Rimkunis, and this is your Exeter History Minute. Let's talk about New Hampshire's vanished holiday, Fast Day. Fast Day was a day devoted to fasting and prayer and was observed in the state from 1680 until 1991. It was like the flip side of Thanksgiving, only instead of being a harvest festival, it was a springtime festival dedicated to planting. The holiday wasn't unique to New Hampshire. We got it from Massachusetts, and they'd had Fast Day observances since the 1670s. In 1680, the Provincial Council of New Hampshire set aside February 2nd as a day to pray for the success of the new General Assembly. Bless us with peace and prosperity with our neighbors in the several colonies near us, and favor us in respect of the spring and seed time ensuing. To achieve these lofty goals, the populace was to refrain from all servile activities, and by this they meant work, except for work that couldn't be avoided, like feeding and milking the cows, who didn't understand holidays very well. Instead, people spent the day in public prayer and fasting. Whether this succeeded in protecting them from floods, hail, and Massachusetts immigrants is open to speculation. But the following year, Fast Day was held for a far more specific purpose. In March of 1681, John Cutts, the president of the Provincial Council, was gravely ill. His sickness, combined with the scary arrival of Halley's Comet in the night sky, were sure signs of divine displeasure. March 17th was declared to be a day of public fasting and prayer. Although the colonists did their very best, Cutts died anyway, and the comet continued to flare in the sky. In spite of this, they liked Fast Day, so periodically, sometimes even a few times a year, they still observed it. In 1779, Governor Meshach Weir called for a day of general fasting with much the same language as the first provincial council. A day of public humiliation, fasting, and prayer throughout this state. All servile labor and recreation are forbidden on said day. The religious element of the day began to wane as the years went by, particularly after the Toleration Act of 1819 finally clarified the whole separation of church and state thing as a thing. A lot of people still went to church on Fast Day, but it was no longer required. By the mid-19th century, most other states had eliminated the day. When Massachusetts changed it to Patriots' Day in 1894, New Hampshire was the last holdout. Governor George Ramsdell pushed hard to eliminate it. His ever-supportive legislature backed him up by instead making it a permanent legal holiday in 1899. Because we're like that here. So it was a real, if nearly completely ignored holiday for most of the 20th century. Kids got the day off from school, but there were no parades, no ceremonies, no Fast Day art done by adorable school children. You couldn't exactly hold a pancake breakfast for something called Fast Day. In 1949, the day was fixed as the fourth Monday in April, which was almost always during public school spring vacation week, so probably not a lot of fasting and prayer going on. Even though it had ceased to have any meaning, stubborn New Hampshireites didn't want to give it up. It was only when pressure began to mount to dedicate a holiday to Martin Luther King and the Civil Rights Movement that we started to think, maybe we should swap this one out. In 1991, Fast Day was eliminated in April, and a new holiday, Civil Rights Day, was observed in January. The name was changed in 2000 to Martin Luther King Day, and we were a bit late to the party on that one, really. It's a party every day here at the Historical Society because we know all the good stories. If you aren't a member yet, check out our fabulous website at www.exeterhistory.org and click on the Support Us button. We need you, and we'd love to have you. This History Minute has been brought to you by the generous sponsorship of Riverwoods Exeter, an active retirement community.